Okay, let's not sugarcoat it. This update will be coming out October 15th. It was either going to be the 9th or the 15th. It was going to be one of these. I think it was the 9th. Honestly, I'm not looking, I'm not checking it. Took them 25 minutes to get there, and the first thing they showed basically confirmed the Chinese leak isn't the new Warframe. This was, in fact, Wukong's deluxe, as was expected, which is why I mentioned it during the video of them showing this and it being a thing. It's like, yes, it could be. This is confirmed. Wukong's deluxe skin. Named Nokko, by the way. The fun guy. Ureli's little brother, so a lot of the animations that were kicking around was literally Ureli dancing in the background, and just like everybody else, I too thought this was broken when it first came up, and then until they went on and explained that it's not, it's just a joint animation, idle animation. They showed the idle animations, and to be fair, they look quite good. Highly unfinished for something that's coming out on the, well, in 2 weeks. 3 weeks? 2 weeks and 6 days. We'll have a signature arcgun, heavy gun. This is coming with an entire update for the heavy guns I'm not getting into, but yay, arcanes. More arcanes to not use because finding them is next to impossible and it costs way too much to actually get the stuff to unlock it. But for certain ones, it will be great. The Orbusup, however you want to pronounce that, didn't look too bad. But it seems weird that a fungus would have a giant arc gun. The melee weapon, or a secondary weapon that did viral, would have made a lot more sense here. But those idle animations with those little guys, that there is an ephemera coming that will allow these little guys to run around after basically any frame, which I thought was a great touch to this. But the idle animations, though highly unfinished, did go on to show that, well, they are a big part of him. Those little mushroom guys running around. But when they did finally get into some gameplay and went to Fortuna, we found out that there's an entirely new area. Yeah. But to get here, you need to have completed the new war first, and the... I was going to say the planes. The orb Vallis needs to have undergone its thawing. I'm not going to get too much into it. We're just going to kind of leave it at that. To find a new Solaran nightcap. And this is where you're going to basically get all of the stuff for Nokko and such related everything, including the signature arcgun. By feeding shrooms you find in the orb Vallis to, not kidding, Nightcap's pet fungus called Prince, who will allow you to do little missions where you go through Nightcap's memories, and this will unlock the lore, storyline, and other things about Nokko, and it's like a mini-game to the mini-game that's a side quest. But you've got to go out into the Orb Vallis to collect mushrooms to feed this thing to be able to do these missions. Yep. That's definitely worth 4 months since their last update. But at least it explains what they have been doing, because that's not all. There is an entirely new level. And I don't mean little level. As much as I would love to carry on the slating them for it's been 4 months since their last update in June. Ignoring Caliban Prime, June. And out of those 4 months, they've gone 2 months without actually doing any hotfixes, updates, or anything else. So don't you dare come at me for saying this. But this has been because the elevator in Fortuna now goes down to an entire new underground area that's going to connect different areas of pre-existing options and areas where you've been able to see things. And yeah. So you've got that dreamscape where you play as a mushroom, and an entire Orb Vallis scaled mushroomy underground. Huh. I mean, when they first showed us Fortuna in the Orb Vallis, 3, 4 years before that became a thing? Because they showed it many years before, the same as Deviri. It was years before that came out. This, 2 weeks and 6 days until you can play this. Yeah. Sneaky Digital Extreme have done it again. How come for the infested type stuff they kind of go, oh yes, and this is coming in a few weeks. But for everything else, it's, ah yes, this is coming in a few months. Unless it's late. And that'll be a few years. Oh, they are sneaky. But Nokko's abilities were shown, and they are straight up mushroom related. There are his, let's call them first abilities, which spawn mushrooms that pulse with different effects. One that inflicts viral damage status, and the other that buffs yours and allies' ability strength. That's not bad in the slightest. But it's his third abilities where things start to get interesting. Reroute, where Nokko reverts to a sprogling. That's what the correct name is for the little mushrooms that have been running around this whole time. Sproglings. This will rapidly heal Nokko, and it's weird the way that they said this, but you will be creating spores that put enemies to sleep as you are running around as the little guy. This has me very intrigued, because being able to, if you go small and they can't really hit you because you have rapid, even if they do hit you, rapidly healing, how rapid is rapid? Because if you're rapidly healing to a point where they can't really kill you that effectively and you're running around putting them to sleep, we have a new contender for best frame for crowd control. Because you can just run into a crowd of them and put them to sleep while your mushrooms are around hurting them and healing other players, making their abilities better. Oh yeah, and I'm just going to straight up say it. The fourth ability, Spore Spring, has a bouncy thing that bounces around hitting the mushrooms and enemies that deals damage but increases the spore rate of the mushroom garden that you have out. It's... yeah, when Rebecca kind of turned around and started going on about wanting to show off the third ability because that's what everyone's been waiting for, that's what they're going to be looking forward to, I didn't think that meant his first ability and second ability spawn mushrooms. The fourth ability spawns something that bounces off these mushrooms, or enemies, or walls. It will bounce off absolutely anything. But the third one will increase your healing rapidly and put enemies to sleep. So the third ability seems to be the best ability. But I'm not going to say it definitely is or not, because it just depends on what little things they may want to change before it's released. And just how that bouncing actually works when it is released. Because they got distracted and started going on about some other things. So I'm not 100% on how that is actually going to be working and if it will be doing what they were talking about it doing, because they were going to find some enemies and got massively distracted while showing this off. That's my job. And one of the best ways to do this is to actually go say Nightcap and do all of the storyline related things, because you're going to be doing them anyway, so you may as well do that to get the parts for Nokko and the... I really do not know how this is supposed to be pronounced. Or Busep? Or Buckup? The arcgun. But if you want to get it as soon as is possible, I was looking at this, and depending how much it is, the bundle that they will be selling for real money, because there is platinum related to it, might actually be worth it, because it has the frame, the arcgun, the ephemera, the sandana, the alternate helmet. It's all in there. Just this once. But either way, I would still say farm for them. This will all be coming in the Vallis Undermind update. 15th of October, probably about 11 AM ET. And with that, we'll leave this off here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.